What we're looking at is a license plate of an Indiana University, Purdue University vehicle. And you can see there, it's a Honda. Can you see the plate number on that or no?
It looks like IK5B74, or I can't really make it out. I can walk out there and get it. But,
okay.
I'll do it later. But yeah. Here we go. This is a fusion center right here. This place here. Okay. This is a rental, and all the people that rent here are perps. Now, this is a building that's next door that's identical to this one here, okay? And I'll show it.
Okay, so hold on. For anyone who may be wondering what a perp is, it's a perpetrator. And when you talk about a perpetrator, this is for anyone who is a targeted individual. This terminology helps people identify those perpetrators who are victimizing or trying to victimize average citizens. And at this point, we've identified a few factors from his area, which just so happens to be, I grew up in Indiana myself. So we're talking about secretive operations that are related. Yep, that are related to operations that are unfolding across the United States under guises, research and development. And at this point, there seems to be some research and development tactics related to cloning that's related to IU Purdue University in Indiana. And that evidence can be provided later on. But I'm making this note because he and I have been talking about some specific things. And this is Lonnie Bland. You know, I'm Carmen Rivera. And we've been talking about some specific things. So for safety reasons, we are documenting this because if anything was to try to unfold, we know that the players are related to the Muscatatuck, Indiana.
Muscatatuck.
Yeah, there's let me get there's a couple programs that are actually in the works right now, and I'm gonna pull them up while you're looking at that.
There you go. See. Here's the flashes.
So photovoltaics is a very big thing these days. So in Indiana, there's a triangle infrastructure that began in 2021, and this gentleman began being targeted around 2021. There was the Hub 16 Tech out of Indy. Their strategic focus in 2021 was life sciences and tech enablement of the body. The key players are IU School of Medicine and IBRI. Then you have the Hub Liberty Works, which is out of Indy. They are strategic focus was rapid prototyping for hypersonics and infrared suppression. Key players are Rolls-Royce. You also have the Hub, which is Burke Nano Center. The strategic focus is optical cloaking, materials, and biological translators. The key players are Purdue and DARPA. Then you have the Hub NSWC Crane, which is electromagnetic warfare, EW, and spectrum control is their 2021 strategic focus. And the key players are the U.S. Navy and strategic missions. Why are we calling this out? Because this stuff has to stop. We have to start protecting one another from these things that are happening. These targeters are continuously harassing this man. I've dealt with this for 25 years. I can see what's going on. He has evidence of nano being used. He has evidence of the metamaterials being used. He has evidence of the cloaking being used. And this is just around the clock. So I'm putting this out here for just to let it be known that if anything does happen to him, well, I'm here. And I know nothing's going to happen to him because no weapon formed against him shall prosper. You guys are, you're hide your veil, it's over for you guys. You've been found out. You've been found out. Go ahead and keep showing this because they're using these photovoltaics around you. I've got this recording here.
I am. I'm trying to
Okay.
get some
let's see if I can move me. Let's get me moved.
They use animals. They use animals. Okay, look up here. I got some video. It's pretty
oh yeah, that video with the cat.
There's a cat that well, no easy way to say it, that it morphs into it stands up on its hind legs and runs to a vehicle, jumps in the vehicle like it's a human being, while the lady that's driving the vehicle opens the rear passenger side door and lets something out.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I did notice that in the vehicle. It looked like something was getting out. But when you're talking about cloaking, and for anyone who doesn't know this, let me help. Let me help. As he's
this lady here, I've caught on my camera every day walking a dog. She's a tenant. Her ex is a so-called friend of mine. I know he's not my friend, but I keep him around for a reason.
The military had to jump in real. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're mad. They're mad.
Well.
Yeah.
Why are they monitoring your channel?
Oh, because I'm targeted too. So while you're picking that up, I'm actually gonna share with everyone what metamaterials is and cloaking really quick so they can have a full understanding of what they would be seeing and why. So
okay.
So metamaterials are man-made substances that are engineered at the nanoscale to have properties not found in nature. They are composed of tiny resonators like microscopic loops or rods that are smaller than the wavelength of the energy hitting them. They have the water in a stream analogy, where imagine a large rock in a stream, the water hits it and splashes, creating a wake, which is a detection. Now imagine the rock is replaced by a metamaterial structure that catches the water and smoothly guides it around the rock and back together on the other side. To someone downstream, it looks like the water never hit anything. Then there's the negative refractive index, which this is a magic property. Most materials bend light inward. Metamaterials can bend light outward or completely around an object. And then cloaking, there are three main types of cloaking relevant to the programs that he and I have been talking about and have been identified, like those at Purdue and NSWC Crane. There's spatial cloaking, which is invisibility, using a metamaterial shroud to guide electromagnetic waves, which is radar, infrared, and visible light around an object. The targeted context is this is used for drones or unmanned systems to hover in a corridor without being seen by the naked eye or thermal cameras. It makes a physical object appear like empty air. I've seen that, by the way. Then there's temporal cloaking, which is the time hole. This is the Purdue research that I feel is related to his targeting. Instead of hiding an object in space, it hides an event in time. And how it works is it speeds up the front half of a light beam and slows down the back half, creating a gap or a quiet zone in the middle. The targeted context is related to any data transmission or hit that occurs inside the gap as mathematically invisible to sensors. And this explains why people can experience a hit while their EMF meters show a flat line. The meter was timed out by the cloak. Then there's sensor cloaking. which is the blinding effect. Instead of hiding the attacker, this cloaks the sensor, which is your phone, your camera, or even your own nervous system. And how it works is metamaterials are tuned to a specific resonant frequency. When that frequency is paused, it creates an interference pattern that makes the sensor ignore what is right in front of it. Then there's the biological link, and this is the most critical part for a soul theft angle. The 2021 nanotechnology link that I believe is absolutely related to Lonnie's situation. If a person has been injected or exposed to nanoscale metamaterials through what you believe was a medical or environmental breach, their body can become a resonant antenna. Do you, at any point in time, do you recall that you might have had nanomaterials you came in contact with?
I've had 4 shoulder surgeries, 2 wrist surgeries, and a partial finger amputation on the tip. You can't tell that anything's gone, but so they could have done it at any of those times. I was under the knife,
Yep.
and so yeah, I could say that. Is it probable? It'd almost have to be one of those times because it would be the easiest to do something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then there's genomic cloaking, where researchers are looking at how metamaterials can interface with DNA. If they can cloak a specific gene like the FEMAT2 God gene, they can effectively turn off a person's spiritual intuition or light using a remote frequency. So, these are real research and development programs that are happening out of Purdue University. And when we first started this live, who is sitting outside right across the street but an IU Purdue University, whoever, whether they're a student, a professor, no one knows. We just know that they have the plates, so they're associated. Did they move the vehicle?
No, it's still there.
Okay.
He doesn't live there.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't live there. But they have a really high turnover ratio at this particular apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them rotate like every fucking 3 or 4 days. Then I've seen it once a week, and it's really strange. But they all have one thing in common: they're all players and all complicit in whatever's happening. I mean, I know what's happening, but everything is. Everybody acts like what's happening around my home and the exterior of my home is the norm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you noticed, so just for everyone, you noticed in 2021 that things began to change, right?
Drastically.
What was the changes that you experienced?
I was being followed everywhere for one, and it seemed like everywhere I went, everybody was involved. Right. And if they weren't, then they were soon recruited. I've watched it happen in front of me. And then I started noticing these airplanes and drones follow me everywhere. Not just in town, but if I drove 2.5 hours away, they would follow me. I would go to a secluded place back in so I could see, who came and went. And I'll be damned if I weren't followed on the ground and in the air. But then I came to find out that the same aerial vehicles or drones, whatever they were or appeared to be, were not only not what they seemed to be, except they were one and the same. So the drones that followed me at night are always 3, okay? And they can be up to 6 to 8, okay? The size of fighter jets. And during the daytime, they look like they are a FedEx plane or something of that nature, like a 737 cargo plane. But I think that there is an optical illusion. Yeah, well,
that's explained by metamaterials. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's explained by the metamaterials.
I could tell by the sound of each aerial plane or whatever you want to call it, whatever the hell's in the air, because each one of these drones have a specific sound. One will sound like a jet turbine. One will sound like a jet airplane that is of a like a military type deal, like a jet, a fighter jet, and then the other one will sound like a propeller. So they're all specific, but they all do different things. One puts off a frequency, a high-pitched whine frequency, and out of nowhere, it'll pop up, and it'll go, something like that. Like it just jumped to a freaking wormhole or something. It's quite bizarre.
So let me share this then, because if someone says, well, this sounds crazy, drones are unmanned aerial systems, or they're called UASs, and they are absolutely known as delivery trucks and mobile towers in this invisible war. They actually, by 2025, drones had moved beyond simple surveillance to become an active participants in electromagnetic spectrum operations, which it's EMSO. The drone as a mobile frequency tower. What he's explaining is literally explained. The drone as a mobile frequency tower. In traditional targeting, a signal would come from a fixed tower. Drones change this by allowing the source to follow you. So proximity equals power, and this involves the inverse square law. Moving a signal source just a few feet closer increases its biological impact exponentially. And drones can hover outside a bedroom or window or follow a car, keeping a high dose of EMF beam locked onto a target's nervous system. Then there's also signal injection, where military drones like those tested in Indiana's silent swarm exercises, which I believe is absolutely related to Lonnie's situation, are designed
for... We got it last night on video.
Yeah, are designed for digital payload delivery. And this means they don't drop bombs. They drop signals into local Wi-Fi cellular networks, or even directly into the human body's electrical pathways. And just so it's known, the deception and cloaking platform, drones are primarily a testing ground for the metamaterials and temporal cloaking. So there's a visual deception. They use active camouflage drones that blend into the sky or look like a bird or a small commercial plane to the naked eye. So what he just said is documented. There's physical evidence of this. And then there's the spectrum deception, where drones in 2025 are being equipped to create chaos and confusion in the spectrum. They can mimic a neighbor's Wi-Fi router or a cell tower, making it impossible for an EMF meter to tell the difference between normal background noise and a targeted pulse. And then you have biosensing, and the pattern of life. So the drones aren't just hitting people, they're reading them. They have hyperspectral imaging. So the NASA drones, like those out of Ames research, use sensors that see far beyond human vision. They can detect the heat of your heartbeat, the oxygen levels in your blood, and even the biophoton light of your cells from hundreds of feet away. Then there's molecular monitoring. Drones are being used to monitor environmental chemistry. If you've been exposed to the nanotech or arsenic markers, a drone can ping those particles in your body to verify your location and physical state in real time. So this stuff is not hypothetical. This is not some sci-fi, oh my gosh, this guy's tripping. He's schizophrenic. You better watch out. He's got some mental diseases because he thinks that these drones are turning into things or they're being used as frequencies. This is documented. This is factual.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's sci-fi sounding, but
it's real life.
It's what's happening. It's the realm we live in today. Okay?
Yeah.
So, if you are unfamiliar with nanotech, then you need to familiarize the basics, and that's all you need to know. And this is it: is that nanotech is self-assembling. Okay, that it's self-replicating, self-repairing, and independent thinkers, and they have to assemble. So knowing those things, I, by trial and error, was trying to figure out a way to recognize when they were around me. And the only thing that I was able to incorporate with what little knowledge that I did have of them is that you can do a couple things to them. One is you can mark them, and you do that by this. You turn your camera on your phone, make sure the light's on, make it low to the ground, preferably be in your garage, and take a can of spray paint, white preferably, and get a propane torch that is what you would use for burning brush, and just burn the air. When you think you see them, they'll look like little fireflies flying around. Okay, spray the can, and you can even just take a lighter and blast them with it. You're doing two things. One, you're marking them. Two, you're making them scatter. They're not going to assemble. And this ain't the movies. They don't assemble in seconds. It takes a minute. But
Can you?
That's how the cloaking. That's how the cloaking is done, is with the nanotech. And if you can disrupt what they do, then that buys you some time to do a few things. Evade if that's what you need to do. Escape or whatever. But the thing is, you're not going to hurt whoever's wielding this technology. You can't hurt them. Not that I've found.
Well, and I mean, I don't want to sound heartless because, I'm a believer, and I'm not one of those people who set out to harm people, but I've been through this nightmare for 25 years. I'm at the point where, hey, if you get caught in the crossfire or, God punishes you, well, that's your problem, not mine. You shouldn't have been doing this in the first place. So, at some point, I'm like, let's not worry about those things that they wouldn't worry about, because none of them are worried about if they're hurting you. They come.
It's not an excuse.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not.
It just isn't.
And to pretend. So wait, just to back up. Did you end up picking up that video? Do you still have it?
Which one?
Well, where the cat went into the vehicle, got on its back legs or whatever, or
yeah, I still have it.
Can you play it on that, or what about?
I don't know what day it was. I'd have to find out what day it was.
Okay.
It's actually on my Facebook.
Can you remember? Did you record last night where those nano was flying through the air and we caught it?
We can see.
That was around. Let me see. That was around dinner time, I think. So somewhere 7-ish.
It was later than that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. But it's always on here. I could probably find it just on any of my. This is every day, so it's not a big deal.
Right, for you. But, one thing I don't think people understand, like when I came out and I started telling my testimony, 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8 now, God told me to tell them, you're next. So I know we're at that point where, unfortunately, I've got a fly I got to kill her.
There you go. Here's nanotech.
There it is. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I get that a lot in front of my cameras.
That's nanotech. Okay. This is not snow. These aren't bugs. So see how they fly?
Oh, I know.
Directions?
They go different. Yep. I get that all the time in my cameras. Yep. Oh, there it is. A burst of it. Yep. So, see that? Oh, again. Yep. And then those things get really active. Look how active those things got. Look at that.
They're going all directions.
Yeah, I know.
Wind,
right.
Snow.
It's not bugs.
Here, I can go back where there's no snow, no nothing. I mean, this is technology. Okay?
It is. Now, I know a lot of people would say, because I hear people, I've posted videos with things like this, and they say, that's bugs. I'm like, no, unfortunately, you're undereducated.
Hey, look here across the alley. Remember what I told you about the neighbor has the bright lights that he shines over here?
Mm-hmm.
No, look there on the ground. See it?
Oh, yeah, you could see him right there. Yeah.
Yeah, Okay, now watch.
You actually can
See,
see more than that
no,
because...
there's no snow. Okay, there's no nothing.
Right.
It hasn't started. Okay, and I can see pieces of it. It's still playing. Look at the clock on top. This is at 2:12 a.m.
Look at the ground though, bro. It's got pink. It's got a light blue. So there, that whole idea. Remember, I was reading to you the other day. Look, it looks like a freaking rainbow on the damn ground behind the, like, next to the left.
Look over here. Look over here. This is where they're hitting me with shit too. Right here from these three houses. They hit me from over here. These cars right here are wired the same way the vehicles are at the bar. So like this. Okay, this is 2-something in the morning. This dude's over here doing it. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so now look up here though. See this go down?
Hey, Roxanne.
Now look here. Look here. Here he goes. This is him, I think, going down now. There he is.
So when someone, if anyone were to be like, oh, you know, these are natural activities. Well, here's the problem with that theory of these are natural activities. If a person's been living in a home for years, you know, let's say you've only lived there a year. You know what your traffic is like. You know whether people are getting up and driving out at 3 o'clock in the morning or coming in at 2 a.m. You know that. You know, you begin to learn what's happening in your neighborhood. Well, then if you've lived there for a year and then all of a sudden you magically now have 50 new cars coming into the neighborhood and they don't live anywhere, they're just like sitting there. What's really going on, guys? You know, so people can pick up on when something changes. Just put it that way. And because there are so many people who are out of touch with reality, that these things will be happening in your neighborhoods and you think, oh, no big deal. No big deal. Yes, it is a big deal. If there's someone staking out your house, trying to look at your little kid, or maybe they're looking at you, you want to go, oh, that's normal. You're going to dismiss it. And would you want anyone dismissing you? So, you know, we're at a point in our lives where we got to stop dismissing our neighbors. Stop playing the I'm dumb card, you know?
Well, you can't take everything at face value. What you might think is normal ain't so normal to someone else like me. I see a lot more than a lot of people do, and it's because of, one, it's trauma based, and it's triggered something within me to be hyper aware, hyper observant.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask for it. It is what it is, but it has taught me a lot, and I believe that it's what makes me stand out to these individuals that are perpetrating this crime.
Right.
But considering the weaponry and how it's focused and concentrated, so many different weapons all at once from all directions, every second of every day for 4 years, I don't know how that you could honestly say that I'm still able to function without neurological damage. The radiation alone has got to be, way up there.
Oh, it's damaging. I know. I used to be very healthy. I could, my body repaired so quick. Now, I walk around, I'm a walking ailment. I'm skinny. I cannot put weight on me for the life of me, bro. It just, no matter what I try. I can't put weight on. And I've also noticed muscle wasting. And I know what it is. It's because, we're supposed to be able to get a full 8 hours of sleep every night. They don't let me sleep an hour. I wake up every 35, 40 minutes. If I want a full 8 hours, I got to get drunk. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's just... it seems like my life consists of existing For what? Right now, it's to be this introvert that I've become, and it's not who I am.
Well, let me plug away at you for a second, really quick, since this is about you. Around what time did I mean? I know that you may not have documented the exact same the day that you realized, hold on, something weird is going on here. But can you tell me around the time frame? Was it summer? Was it winter? You were saying around 2021 this happened, right?
Yeah. So right after COVID, I started noticing it happened in a hotel that somebody was acting strange, man. And I told my buddy that I think we're being followed, and he blew it off. And now, in all actuality, we were. And then I started noticing these people that just happened to be following me. I thought they were feds or undercover cops.
Mm-hmm.
And then I soon found out that what was covert, because I had actually caught people hiding and following me around, that what was undercover being covert ended up being over out in the open. They didn't care if I seen them or not. And then it just went full throttle. We're talking aerial surveillance, tap phones, cloned phones, the shit coming up missing from my house, people I've known for years turn against me, family members turn against me. I started hearing something about a smear campaign about how they would, how people were labeling me and talking about me. The loss of my job several times. It just goes on and on. But I didn't fall for any of it. For one, I'm not a victim. I'll never be a victim. I don't identify as anything,
Right.
Other than whom, my birth certificate says I am, which I'm finding out is, that's another story. But anyway, the life I've been living and led to believe who I am is a total lie, and everything led up throughout my adolescent years and childhood, and up till now, seems to be planned and deliberately arranged, so to speak.
Right. You do realize
To
that
have,
for people that are in the world, like hearing this, never hearing something like this before, that sounds a little overwhelming and almost impossible.
well, think about how it feels to me. At one point in time, I felt like if I was to be abducted by aliens, I'd consider it a fucking rescue mission.
Yeah.
Because the world I lived in was a lie. The world I thought I knew was gone. And the world that I was living in now had turned against me and was out to get me at every turn.
I
No matter what I
understand.
did.
Yep. I understand it completely, but I understand it. Not, unless you've been through something like this, it's really hard to understand. And now I can imagine too, because I realize that a lot more people are being targeted, but they don't know. And they're
Right.
using softer measures on these people than they
What they're
are on
doing is
you.
why they sleep at night. They're hitting everybody with electromagnetic frequencies throughout the night in a wave. There's a guy at the channel that he actually studies the output and where it's happening at, when it starts and when it ends, and it seems to be why everybody's sleeping.
Yeah, it's actually, I saw one where they was reporting it. It was around 9:11 p.m. every night. There was a pulsation that was going out.
Right, exactly. So what, just like, here's the thing. if you don't believe in electromagnetic frequency weapons, then do yourself a favor. Blast us, put us on blast, but do your research and go fact check it and go find out why didn't people with blue roofs in Hawaii, why didn't their fucking house burn down? Okay?
Right. I've got a website, bioelectric.solutions, that you can go over, and it's a lot free information there. And, go in there and look into it. You guys want to? Because
it's as simple as this. It's as simple as downloading the EMF meter, and every time something fly over the top of your airspace around you, and you can see something, okay, when it gets by you, if it comes in your area, point that meter at it, and if it puts off any kind of a signal, guess what?
yeah,
It's putting off radiation.
I actually studied those, which ones were best, and Amazon had a lot to pick from, but I found the best meters are Safe Living Technologies, and I ended up affiliating with them because I can secure a discount for the community of 10%. So if you use the code bioelectric for any of the meters, and they've got some really cool open box deals right now for the EMF meter, and it's really good to have something like that, because if you can identify those frequencies, you can actually mitigate them and shield against them as well. That protects your health. And they don't want you to know this stuff because they don't want you to protect your health. If you've ever saw the Deagle's depopulation report, they were high numbers. 227 million people supposed to be gone by the year 2025. I mean, like, we're there. We're there.
Mm-hmm.
And people are getting sick. A lot of people are getting sick. So for you, once you started noticing it, I get that you knew that you were being followed, which I had picked up on that with me too. But what started alerting you to, like, the traffic in front of your house? Because you do have a lot of weird traffic that you log.
The traffic started being at a high rate, and they would just come and turn around and go back the way they came, and they do it repeatedly, sometimes 15, 20 times a day. I half the time, it's the norm to me now, and I think it's the overplay for the underplay, like I told you before. I don't so much look at that specific vehicle, but I turn these cameras off sometimes for a month at a time, and I kind of let things, happen, and I just try to live life. But sometimes you get fed up, and you're like, man, I'm gonna see what's really happening.
Yeah.
And then once again, you see, I call it the fuckery. I mean, because it's all bullshit. And I've learned a lot in the past couple days. I didn't know about photonics. I didn't know about the lights. Now I knew about the LEDs being weapons, because I get hit with them every night from the interstate. So they've weaponized the lighting on the interstate, okay? And they've got a couple big lights focused on my bedroom window. Well, then I started looking around, and all the lights are pretty much focused on one thing, and that's my house.
Yeah, I noticed that too when you were going through yesterday when you were coming back biking. I noticed there was a light anomaly around you too.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I have that as well, and I can tell who's involved because after I've been here, every time I go somewhere, a light appears somewhere out of the blue. Every time. It never fails. So that lets me know, okay, they just set up camp. But and people don't realize that how photovoltaics affects them, because frequency, whether it's RF, ELF, or EMF, it doesn't matter. Frequency affects the body. We're electrical beings.
Yeah, so the blue lights are really bad.
Yeah, the blue lights will affect your circadian rhythm. They'll cause you to I'm always forgetting what's that stuff that you need to sleep? Starts with an M.
Serotonin. Oh, melatonin.
Melatonin, yeah. It causes your melatonin to stop producing. So, and we're looking into those devices all the time, like we're doing right now. We're looking at blue screens right now. So, and Roxanne, you're right. You say God love never fails, and to rebuke us in Jesus' name, because it's all a fear tactic. That's true. Two, the thing is that a lot of people don't understand what's going on. When you have invisible frequencies, people think they don't exist because you don't see them.
Yeah. That's fact.
And even scripture says, be wise as a serpent and sweet as a dove. So there has to be some knowledge that we need to obtain, And I think it's this, because this has been going on for quite a long time. I've been 25 years I've been into this stuff. He's in 4 years. And
yeah, it's I'm a little different though. I don't know why, but I seem to be, and I'm pretty advanced.
Yeah, I've seen that you've advanced quickly, but I also know another girl. I actually had her on this channel one time, sister of mine, name, I call her V, which was my mom's name, but it's kind of funny. Anyways, and she also has been experiencing these phenomenons, and they do things like send honey pots and,
I've had them. I've had those.
Yeah. And,
there's a lot of deception that's involved with trying to deal with new people, because if you're truly like we are, me and you are, then you're starved for attention, for contact. And what I mean by that is, you've been alone. You know what alone is, what it truly is, what it feels like, and it's desolate. There's no feeling like being alone.
Well, okay? And when you're talking about being alone, let's not forget you're being targeted. Everyone around you has been turned against you. So this is a different alone feeling than just the natural. I'm alone today.
Breaking up with your girlfriend,
right?
Or your boyfriend or whatever. We're talking about feeling like you're living on an alien planet, that everything that you know is a lie, and the world has turned against you.
Yeah.
In a sense.
I'm listening to you and I hear you, so you keep talking. I'm trying to let my dog in.
But that's what we're talking about. You got to admit that things are different, and the world you thought you knew. One, we've been lied to. Two, we have half-truths. Three, that the people that we thought we knew, we don't know. And it seems like we're dealing
further isolation. Once you start seeing the people that you love the most, your mom, your sister, your brother, all of these people, when they start turning against you, that puts you in a state of isolation that is beyond any human words.
Well, you get sold out. There's a price, and they don't mind paying it. And the sky's the limit. So the longer people hold out on turning on you, for instance, the more the payout.
Yeah.
But there's a bigger price than what they know. They're going to pay for it.
Right.
And I think once that they are complicit and take part in this, that they're under contract. And
I believe that.
That's one contract that you don't want to be binded to. There's no annulling it. There's no getting out of it. And once it's done in blood.
Yeah.
Our blood.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
then
could imagine that they'd be held to sign, non-disclosure agreements, because I've actually heard where a lot of people that turn into this, they're either drug users or they've been in trouble with the law too. So, they get these little perks where it's like, okay, you want to stay out of trouble? You don't want to do maximum time for whatever you're doing? Here, go do this,
well, the thing is this, they think, and a lot of them, they think they're doing God's work. Well, what God are you referring to? Because I don't know about you, but I know that there's the God of this place, and then there's the true God. So, who are you? Who are you subject to be devoted to, or come to learn and love?
True.
And,
True.
So, if you're not, and I said it before, and I've never in my life thought I'd hear myself even say these words, but if you're not operating out of a place of love, then you need to reevaluate and figure it out, because you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
Because the only thing that's real here is love. Because from my experience, everything else is bullshit and fake and a lie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fake world, real consequences. You weigh it out, and you come up with your own reality, because you see shit different than I do. You would see blue different than I see blue.
Yeah.
And I say that because our eyes are projectors.
Yeah.
The people sucks in all the black, all the light, and it's a black hole, like I told you. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. But if you want to learn for yourself, don't go to modern studies. Go backwards. Go back into the 1800s or something, and find somebody that's dealt with the Oculus, because everything they say here, they say for a reason, and like nothing new under the sun. Find out why they say that, because there isn't anything new under the sun. Energy, or like technology, it's not new. It's just reintroduced.
Yeah. Right. It's been, if we actually, if we rewind the hands of time in terms of when it comes to technology, we can see, like, in Hitler's day, they had stealth technology during that time.
Don't even get me going on Hitler.
But here's the thing. It's been around a lot longer, and when they start bringing it to the forefront where they're introducing it to people, then they've got it completely on lock. They've been using it, they've been deploying it, and whatever they're deploying it in, whether, for instance, some of these photovoltaics are being played out in video games and some of these movies.
It's all programming. It's
right.
all programming. What they do is they take those kids, and they do a number of different things with them. They might go work for the military. Okay?
Right.
They might be a drone flyer. There's a number of different things.
At this point in time, the rate of suicide and depression is astronomical. It's an epidemic in our society. And
video games are an addiction for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
By design. That's why the symbols on the controllers are symbols. Symbolism. You need to figure out and learn what symbolism is. The triangle, the circle, the square. They all mean something. They're put there for a reason. Not so you can remember.
Right.
It's all trickery. It's all witchcraft. Spells, spell binding, spell casting. Okay. If you don't believe me and you think I'm crazy, you better do your own research, because magic's real, and we're magical beings, and we're in a magical system. There's limits to it, but you can change it once you learn how to change it. And that's the thing.
Yeah. You gotta
what you do, universe mirrors back. Period.
Right, okay? Right. But what you don't know can hurt you. Like, for instance, when people don't understand about these EMFs, I wrote a book recently, and the title itself, How to Launch a Profitable Business That Makes a Difference, Empower Your Community, and Make a Difference. It's that's so deceiving, because really what it was for, it's got every meter that you can use just to start to measure these frequencies, what the different frequencies are, why they're important, how they affect your biological health. And I even did some worksheets that enable people, you could print it out and follow those worksheets so that you could get shielding and grounding techniques employed in your household so that it doesn't affect your biological self, from your phones, your laptops, your smart refrigerators.
What you need to do, there's a number of things you need to do. One is you need to learn how to heal your body. And as far as shielding goes, I don't advocate for any certain type of shielding, but I'm going to tell you what worked for myself. And I used a lead X-ray gown from the
Yeah.
ER.
Yeah, don't go too much in detail, but yeah.
Forced into using that.
Yeah.
And I would recommend lead paint on my walls.
It's very expensive, but they do have. Yeah. I absolutely love Safe Living Technologies products. Absolutely love them. And they've got 2 other companies that they distribute for when it comes to the fabric and when it comes to the paint. They have a brand that is made out of Germany, and this is a very solid brand, but for a gallon, I think it's around $3.37 a gallon. Now, I mean, people can get a 10% discount by using my code, but the reason why I affiliated with them, because I did the research. Out here right now, I mean, when you're talking about identifying these microwave frequencies, the extra low frequency, the RF, EMF.
Be careful when you use the microwave at home.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. What they do is they saturate the market with all of these frequencies that are not, meters that are not collaborated correctly. And people are purchasing these meters.
Calibrated,
yeah, and they're not calibrated correctly. So that's why I went with Safe Living Technologies, because they've been out here in the field trying to educate people, trying to talk to clinicians about electrosensitivity and electrosmog, and they've got some really amazing meters that are calibrated and they put through rigorous testing. The gentleman, Rob Metzer, who developed the company, was an electrosensitive person. He was an engineer, and he found a need for these. He couldn't find a meter that would identify the frequencies where he was properly, so he developed different meters, RF meters, EMF meters. You got the AC/DC meters,
Even the right machines, okay?
Yeah.
And we're talking about the same type of frequencies.
Absolutely. Yes.
And there are damaging ones.
Yep.
I'm all about the tuning forks. I'm about bells. That's why they've taken all the bells out of the churches. You don't hear church bells any longer.
Right.
By design. They took all the copper piping, plumbing out of every home. Okay, that is because of the dead water. Okay, you need to drink alkaline water. Not only that, there's something that I just found out here recently that they're doing to water where it I want to say hydrogenates water.
Yeah, I actually, like I told you, I've got a website. I don't know if you're at your computer, but you could type it in. I'm going to show these guys here. This is the website, and there's a Sarah water that I ended up getting with, and it's hydrogen water too. They put it through a filter, and it processes it, puts all of the the good things that those, because they take all that stuff out of our water, and then put parasites in it.
Water.
Yeah.
Well, they kill it.
Yeah.
And anything that goes through a mechanical process is no longer live water.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn it back into live water by putting it through a certain sequence of I want to say like a typhoon type deal, kind of like what the heart does.
Mm-hmm.
And that will pretty much, in a sense, breathe life back into it. Because if you know anything about water, you know that it's magnetic, it holds memory.
Yes.
And thematics.
Yes.
It responds to your voice because every word spoken.
Yeah.
They say every word spoken is a spell.
Yeah, well, it's a
Because
resonance.
every word you speak, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly that.
There's a resonance to it. Right.
You might have seen this technology. Well, it's not really technology. It's actually universe, God, speaking. And these are like healing. Like a lot of them are like this right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Certain sounds will make this
Right.
in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's shown.
Right. They actually have they have this frequency plate where you can stick sand on it and send certain frequencies to it, and it'll literally build a building. And those same frequency plates can be used, you know, to, okay, so for instance, if you take water, put it on a frequency plate, send a frequency through it, and then you stick that water in the freezer, it will have a really pretty prism that's in the water that you can actually see. And then if there's a negative, it's the same thing with like our words, because our words are resonance. So if I were to tell you negative things like, hey, you know, Lonnie, you are, and shout some negative obscenities at you.
Well, here's an experiment. You can do this experiment at home. You can take 2 bottles of water. Okay?
Yeah.
Buy 2 plants, identical. Okay.
Yeah.
Yell and scream at 1 bottle of water. Yell and scream at the plant. Give it the water. Tell this water you love it.
Yeah.
Talk to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell the plant you love it. Give it the water.
Yeah.
Do this for a month.
Yeah.
The contract.
Yeah.
Okay?
I've seen the studies on it. Yeah. And you can see the difference. Everything, you know, words are life, words are spirit. And I think, you know, in some sense, to kind of get back to the targeting thing, what happens is, in a lot of ways, when you are targeted and you are made to be isolated, where everybody has done you just so dirty that you don't trust anyone anymore, you know? You don't want to be around these people. You end up being by yourself. You end up being a loner. And the sad part about it is that throughout that time, too, you also kind of get into that mindset where you're like, I did anyways. I was like, man, I'm cursed. Something's effing wrong with me, you know?
Well,
I know I'm not now, but I went through that. I used to be like, I'm failing at life, you know? I was speaking that into my life.
Well, like I told you, it's more of an existence than a living, like having a life, because you know it's hard to carry on like a normal person. And when I say normal, I mean like being who you used to be.
Yeah, I get it.
Living in the frame of mind and thought that you're going to have a future and this is what your life's going to be like.
Right.
You're going to have this job. You're going to, you know, buy this home. You're going to have this family. And that's not even a thought process. That's not even in the realm of thinking, because in the reality that you will be living is like this. And I'm speaking for myself, not anyone else, that it's hard to think about tomorrow or next week or next month.
Absolutely.
There's only like right now you're being attacked from every direction.
Yeah, you're trying to stay alive.
Right.
You know?
And you're trying to process, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
To defend? And it doesn't matter where you go, where you can't run from it.
No,
okay?
right.
Now,
I tried.
Now you can like get away from, you know, the concrete jungle, and I call that the city. And yeah, you'll reduce the EMF by getting away from all the Wi-Fi and all the technology.
Yeah, but it's not gone. It's not gone.
And it's just going to be overhead. Or they'll send foot soldiers with devices. Right. It doesn't matter where you go.
I know. I was out in the desert, Sierra Blanca. The closest town was 19 miles. And I'll tell you right now, in the middle of the day, nobody should be out there. I'd hear 4-wheelers coming out. I always had drones coming over, you know. I've went into the house and it got dark out and something slammed into the RV. Made my dog jump from the couch all the way out of her skin, almost hit the door. She was so petrified. And, there's nothing out there like that. So they're everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go.
And the people that are perpetrating this crime are, one, they're taking advantage of it and they're lied to, and therefore they lie to people that they recruit. Now, it's as simple as this. It can be a retired cop, okay, have a badge, and he'll lie and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I work for so-and-so, and here's my badge. And they won't question it. And they'll think, the people that this individual's talking to, that this guy's legit. This guy, speaking about me, this guy, he's the real deal. That guy is a bad guy. Yeah, I'll sign up. Where do I do it? And when they sign up, they really don't know what they're signing up for. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, these are individuals that they post they're part of this crime by the Neighborhood Crime Watch, or they'll put in the Citizen app. They'll even post on Craigslist.
Yeah.
There's a number of ways they do it, but they identify, and they're predictable, and they all do similar shit. And that's they communicate through horns, honking, turn signals, flashing, hand signals, baseball signals.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And a majority of these individuals are members of the Masonic community.
Yeah.
I live in a big Masonic community, and they all identify, and they put a flag up, and it's usually a blue light, or they'll have these year-round Christmas decorations on their porch, which, by the way, end up being weaponized.
Right.
I'm fine.
Right.
And they'll put off certain sequences of flashes and shit, and they'll use these same lights that are on the ground as a ground line for the drones to fly up.
Right.
So
what's sad is that this is happening in neighborhoods, and people are turning a blind eye to it, not realizing that if they're targeting your neighbor, that light sequence and the frequencies they're sending there is some spillover. It's going to affect you. So when you say, well, it's not a part of me,
I don't know about that.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
I know that somebody that's not like me could be standing right beside me, and they could hit me with an
yes, and they won't feel it. Right.
And they won't feel it. But it doesn't mean that they won't be affected.
Right.
I don't know.
I get what you mean, but there is. Yes, there is. I've been studying this a long time. There is. Even there's like a residual, and someone asked a question about what do you think about the YouTube channels that play different music for frequencies?
Don't use them.
I was going to say the same. You know what I like? I've been studying this. That's why I created the website that I did, because I did all the homework. PEMF therapy is amazing. There's a company, Healthy Wave, and I can send you links if you want. I've got some posts on it. Healthy Wave has a mat that uses tourmaline and different other types of crystals, PMF, and it's almost like a heating pad, but it puts out specific frequencies that resonate with the body and perpetuates healing and deep sleep. And really what we need as a people is deep sleep. Like how well do you sleep? Because I don't sleep good at all, man. They're constantly making me to where I can't sleep. If I've got a full 8 hours of sleep, I'd be all right.
It differs. Sometimes I'll be up for, 24 hours, but I always sleep, when I do sleep, after being up for a day or something, I might sleep 6 hours, but it's a lot better than what it used to be, where I might be up for 3 days, because there was a point in time where they had hit me so hard with the electromagnetic frequencies that I'd have to run into the ER, because I felt like I was on fire. They heated my blood up, and it felt like I was burning up, getting ready to catch flame. Mm-hmm. When in fact, what they were doing was taking all the moisture out of my blood. That's what EMF does. And
they make
so
me
the only
pee.
was tell them I felt like I was having a heart attack. You know. Yeah, but I don't get hit with the EMF so much now. It's more of the photonics or whatever they're called.
It's